Episode 3 in our 3-part series looking at how do we onboard for success. When we actually are running businesses and successful teams, we so often make sure we have annual plans, we break it down into 30, 60, 90-day plans. What we're going to do in episode 3 is look at how do we elevate and evolve our onboarding. Now, what we're going to do is going to break it up into 2 very specific areas here. Sarah's going to take you through some tips that will help you elevate the success of your program and the success of the person that's starting within your business. And then I'm going to take it over at the end and look at how do we actually evolve that, and just a couple of tips that will help you make sure that you're always front-footing your onboarding so there's never any surprises. You've always got a great program that's going to connect, engage, and really get traction to set people up for success.
So when we look at elevating for success, what often happens when we're planning out those first 30 days, as we've talked about in our last couple of episodes, to get really busy with our new people. We're very excited. We want them to know everything about our business, but we forget that that learning process just takes a lot of time. So one of the things that I do think is quite useful to do is in that beyond that 30 days, so in your 60 and 90 day period within there, is to actually build in during that time the opportunity for them to get out into the business. So actually sitting with other teams and understanding what those people do in their teams, how those teams work, and actually what success looks like for those people. Because often as individuals in our roles, we're making decisions and they have upstream and downstream effects. So if we're partnering with people right from the word go, great thing in terms of culture, how we do things around here, but the success factor for that individual is likely to rise. And if that individual's being successful in their role, then the team's likely to, you as the manager are likely to, and so is the business. So getting them out and involved around what other people are doing across the business in that 60, 90 day period is actually a really good time to do that. They've also got that sense of comfort and a perception of belonging already by that time, ideally. The other thing I absolutely believe is imperative in that 60 and 90 day period is to continue that review process. So whether you're still catching up with that buddy, hopefully you've got that buddy in place for them. So having that buddy catching up with them, how you're going, we're still tracking through what's working, what's not working, and also the manager. You've set up those objectives for the person so they know what's expected of them at that 60 and 90 day mark. They're really useful for understanding where their capability is sitting in terms of actually getting the role done, and also learning opportunities. You know, we don't have everything, so we're always on that learning journey. So actually really being able to sit down and have a really upfront, robust conversation about what development's likely to be needed in 6 months or 12 months time. Remember, we are looking at those 12-month plans as well. So actually looking at building in and planning, it helps future-proof. That person's thinking about the longevity of their time in the business as well, that you're genuinely invested in who they are as a person and being successful in their role, and that you're prepared to plan out for them. It does wonders again for that culture piece, but most importantly for that individual and the success factors that are really important to them.
It's funny, Sarah, as you were speaking, I so often think that onboarding sort of takes people as if they're at a carnival or something like that. And you know how there's the carnival ride where there's those clowns and they've just got these, they just move from side to side, and people put balls in them, or they've got like a flip top head and things are going into them. And so often I think onboarding is exactly like that, is we just smash all this information and we expect for some weird reason that anybody's engagement or learning speed or learning style, that when it's onboarding it actually doesn't apply, that it's all about just giving them all this information rather than how they're actually going to digest it, how are they going to actually connect with it and really make sure that it actually becomes understandable and it becomes then part of their behavior and part of their habits. Because so much of onboarding is actually looking at how do we give them the best opportunity to succeed. And unless we actually break their onboarding down into not just the high level knowledge, but make sure on an ongoing basis we're breaking it down into behaviors and disciplines and routines and really making everything come alive, we're not truly setting that person up for success. We're just assuming that they can digest this information, how we're doing it. And so that's why evolving our onboarding for me is so important. It's making sure that as we go through, because every person coming into your business is going to look at the onboarding process slightly differently. And if you've just had one person or a couple of people create your onboarding process for you, they're only going to be seeing it through their lens. So our recommendation to you is actually, as a person is going through their onboarding, to ensure total involvement, that you actually get them as a challenge for every section that they go through, is to come up with a 10%, yep, you guessed it, 10% improvement on how they're going to improve that segment of onboarding. Now, the beauty of that is you've got this amazing, passionate, energized person coming into your business. As they're going through the learning process, as you're giving them information, they're going to be seeing it through fresh eyes. Now, with those fresh eyes, don't underestimate the power of what is going through their mind, how they're digesting it, so that they can actually give you truthful information back and feedback, so you can evolve your program or even evolve your systems, processes and information within your business. Now, so often a new person isn't going to give you that information unless you actually give them the permission to give it to you. But also what you're doing is you're encouraging a culture where their feedback and their voice counts. So in this evolution process, give them the challenge. Every section has 10% improvement challenge associated to it, and have some wins or some rewards along the way. Make sure that you are using, like we said in previous episodes, tech is your friend. Use screen capture software, use snippets, make sure that your onboarding is very visual, it's very interactive, that there's actually a lot of different modalities. And so as you're going through and you're getting people's feedback into each of these areas, this enables you to bring up those learning styles, whether they're visual or audio or kinesthetic. You're actually bringing these together. And the last thing that I feel, that when you really want to elevate and evolve, but you really want to evolve your onboarding, is actually do what we call a teach back. So a teach back is awesome in onboarding, because what it enables the person that's learning to do is to digest the information, put their own filter and spin on it, and then teach it back to a colleague or a new person starting or someone else in the business. But enables them to really understand, because when we teach, we understand even better. So this is our 3-part onboarding series. We started off really looking at how do we set up for success to make sure we've got the resources, the tools, we've understood the whole onboarding journey. We're looking at the different modalities. We're making sure we've got a really intensive 30, 60, 90-day onboarding, but we've actually stretched the onboarding out to 12 months, a whole business cycle, to make sure that we're going for success. And then, of course, we've finished today in today's episode all around how do we elevate and evolve our process to make sure that for the person that's joining our business, they get immersed into our beautiful cultures from the get-go, from the second that they sign. So we hope you've enjoyed our Onboarding for Success series, and we have got some templates that we want to share with you. So watch the space, keep an eye out in the comments, and we would like to share with you on an ongoing basis our tips and tricks. So keep connected with us.